WAL, and it's the Bryan Golden Bears and the Evergreen Vikings as the two teams will square off to start this, I guess you call it the official season of the year, as the Bears and the Vikings opening up NWAL play with all the other teams in the conference here tonight. Good to have you with us here tonight on the Golden Bears Sports Network. You're probably watching tonight on BryanSports.com or listening on Q96.5 FM, or if it happens to be later after the ball game and watching the replays here on BMU Channel 3. All by myself tonight. Mr. Malenga has other responsibilities tonight, so I am all by myself, and we'll try to bring you the ball game tonight in a manner of which you become accustomed with young Mr. Malenga here by my side. But tonight it should be a good basketball game as the Bears come in on a 5-game winning streak. They really had a tough go of it when they started here. They started out 2-4 here on the season, and got into the holiday tournament, and were able to win the tournament over on the east side of town, and came back in with 5 straight victories right now to run their record to 7-4. For Evergreen, they come in at an even 5-5 here tonight. It's going to be an interesting ball game tonight because both teams really have a hard time scoring the basketball at times, but both teams at times can go on some runs. For the Evergreen Vikings, we're hearing an awful lot about their outside shooting, and they claim that when their three-point shots are going down, they're in the ball game. When the three-point shots don't fall, they have a few problems. On the year, the Bears have scored 592 total points and allowed 509 points, and for the Vikings, they've scored 556 points and allowed the opposition 515 points. Jerry Kiefer is the coach for Evergreen. He's in his 23rd season, over 300 wins as a coach, and I think everybody knows the story about the Bears' Brandon Fisher in his very first year after coming up the road from Defiance, where he was a longtime assistant and is now the head coach here of the Golden Bears, and obviously 7-4 here on his basketball career, which is about to span many, many years, I am sure. A very solid coach, and he's done a wonderful job here with the Bears, getting them turned around. It looked like they started out kind of slow, but the team kind of bought into what he's wanting to do. They play some great defense. They hustle all over the floor. Basically, all they need is one big guy. If they had a true center on this basketball team, this would be a team, I think, that could compete in the NWAL for the championship. Without him, it's going to take an awful lot of hustle and a whole lot of turnovers by the other team. So Coach Fisher and getting his team ready to go. The teams are on the floor, as you can see, and they're warming up. Bears will be in their home whites tonight with the purple trim, and Evergreen comes over in their road greens with the gold numbers and the white trim. Should be a very interesting ball game. We're going to step away right now for a quick break. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the starters and get you ready for the ball game here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. And welcome back to Bryan High School. Jim Funderburg here tonight to bring you the ball game on a Thursday night. It's Bryan and Evergreen here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Ball game being brought to you tonight by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Ford Lincoln, Bryan Municipal Utilities, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Darrell Shirkey Ford, Krill Funeral Home, and newcomer Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger. Also, the scoreboard tonight sponsored by the Main Stops here in Northwest Ohio. Let's take a look at the starting lineups here this evening for the Evergreen Vikings, who come in at 500 at 5-5. They will start Bryce Hudek. He is a guard at sophomore, 6 foot 2 inches tall. Chandler Lumbreezer is the other guard here tonight. His number is number 10, another sophomore, 6 foot 2 inches tall as well. Their center tonight is a senior. It is Phoenix Van Ostren, and Phoenix is 6 foot 4 inches tall. Jason Leffler is one of the forwards here tonight, 6 foot 2, a freshman. And then Nate Brighton will play the other forward spot. He is 6 foot 3, and again, another freshman. So they will start a pair of sophomores tonight, a senior and a pair of freshmen. For the Bears here this evening, they'll start Jason Valdez, the senior, 5 foot 9 inch guard, and Zane Cup, 6 foot 3 junior. Peyton Lamberson, the 6'1 junior guard, and Evan Smith, a 6 foot junior wing player. And at center, I guess, Josh Jones, 5 foot 10 inches tall, and a senior. So if you take a look at the Bears tonight, Cup, the only guy that really has any size on this basketball team at 6'3", and then you look at Lamberson at 6'1", and Josh Jones at 5'10". Evan Smith that's 6 foot tall, and also Jason Valdez, who's only 5 foot 9 inches tall. But the decent thing about this ball team so far this year has been their ability to get their space, play their defense, box out, and get the rebounds when they need to, and then knock down the shots that they need to do. As we said when we started this ball game tonight, this is a basketball team, as far as the conference goes, that is scoring as many points as anybody in the conference. The Bears have scored 592 points on the season so far. The number 2 team in the conference, ironically, is Evergreen. It scored 556, and then you go down the list and you get all the way down to 383 points for Delta, who starts the year right now at 1-9. If you look at the standings before we hit the conference, Wauseon is 8-1, Archbold at 7-2, Bryan at 7-4, Evergreen 5-5, PH 2-5, Liberty 1-5, Swanton 3-7, and Delta at 1-9. As we're ready to tip this thing off here tonight on the Golden Bears Sports Network. In the Job Center, Zane Krupp for the Golden Bears, and his counterpart, number 34, Nate Brighton. And Krupp will tip back to his teammates, and the Bears will have the basketball for the first time. Valdez brings it up, kicks it down to the corner, right corner to Krupp, and they'll bring it back and swing it all the way to the left corner. Looks like the zone, a 2-3 zone being played by Evergreen right now. And the Bears trying to find that little crease in that zone. And we'll have a traveling call, and the turnover, the first turnover of the night, will go against Zane Krupp, who was trying to find somebody open and took that extra step. So Evergreen will have their first opportunity. Main stop scoreboard has it 0-0, and we're just underway here in Bryan High School. Great to have you with us. On the other end, 22 is Mason Leffler, and he was trying to find another player in a green jersey, and instead nobody there, threw it out of bounds, and immediately the Bears get the basketball right back. So both teams have had the ball for just a matter of seconds, and both teams have turned that basketball right over. Valdez and Krupp playing a little pass on the perimeter. Kick it over to Evan Smith, who gets it back to Valdez. Valdez has his pocket picked off by Bryce Hudak. He goes the length of the floor. Ball tipped away by the Bears, Peyton Lamberson, and the Bears have the basketball back. And then just like that, they turn it right over as Zane Krupp takes his eye off the basketball, and the midcourt pass goes out of bounds into the Evergreen bench, and the ball goes right back over. So both teams have had the ball twice. Both teams have turned the ball over twice. And with 7:12 to play here in the opening quarter, no score on the scoreboard, and both teams trying to just figure things out as they open up conference play here tonight. Bryce Hudak brings the ball into the front court, and a whistle and a foul will go against Evergreen. And that foul will go, no, a 5-second call, not a foul, 5-second call right at the midcourt line. So the third turnover of the night now for Evergreen, and both these teams really have yet to take a shot. So it's been an interesting basketball game so far. Lamberson down the lane, has the ball blocked, gets his own rebound, kicks it underneath, and before he can get up off the ground, Josh Jones is fouled, and he'll get an opportunity to go to the free throw line and shoot a couple. I think they're going to call him up. They're going to say he was fouled on the floor before he got up, so it will be Bryan's ball under their own bucket here with 6:44 to play in the first quarter. Ball comes inside to Evan Smith. Smith kicks it into the corner. The jump shot is up and no good by Jones, and the rebound comes off to the Bears. Valdez drives the lane, and he'll have the first basket of the night, and the Bears take a 2-0 lead here at the 6:30 mark on the main stop scoreboard. Evergreen brings the ball up the front court. It's Van Ostrand. Gives the ball off to Lumbreeser, who will take the three-point shot and leave it just a little bit short. Hits the front of the iron, and the Bears right there to pull it in. Josh Jones with the rebound. To Valdez to the other side. The kick pass inside to Lamberson is taken away, and it's number 5, Bryce Hudak, that picks up the ball, and it'll bring it to the front court for Evergreen. So both teams having some problems really getting off the mark here tonight early with some good defense. Smith able to step in front of the pass, but he grabs the ball, steps out of bounds, and instead of a steal, the Bears will turn the ball back over to the Evergreen Vikings. So far early, Evergreen having some troubles with the Bears press, and the Bears having some troubles with the zone defense on their offensive end, as neither team able to get off any shots. In fact, the Bears with one shot. Evergreen has yet to put a ball towards the bucket. That will change as the drive to the rim by Phoenix. Van Ostrand will go up and in on the lay-in, and he will be fouled and get a chance for the three-point play. So Van Ostrand takes the first shot of the night for Evergreen. He makes it count on the lay-in, and the free throw gives him the opportunity to make this a 3-2 basketball game. Glad to have you with us tonight on the BMU BryanSports.com stream. We're getting all of our internet tonight from Bryan Municipal Utility, man, your hometown provider of internet and cable service. Free throw is good. Bears have the basketball on the other end. Kick goes to Smith in the corner. His three-point shot is no good, but the Bears hustle for the ball, and Colt Arthur comes up with it. Gives it to Valderas behind his back, down the lane, tries to bounce pass it into Smith, and it gets kicked back outside to Peyton Lamberson at the free throw line, and Lamberson makes the jump shot from there, and the Bears go back up 4-3. 5:18 to play here in the first quarter. Bears up 4-3 on the main stop scoreboard. Lamberson steps in front of an entry pass and takes it to the rim, and just like that, the turnover puts the Bears up on by 3, 6-3, with 5:06 to play in the quarter. Interesting situation. Lumbreeser will bring it into the front court. He'll kick it off to Brighton. And before we can get anything going, we've got a whistle. And I'm not sure whether we've got a young guy who's got a problem down on the floor. I think they do. They're looking at Josh Jones, and it looks like maybe Josh took an elbow or something to the cheek or the eye. And they'll have to do substitute for Josh, as Zach Nobus will come onto the floor. And on the other side, Josh Downing will come in for the Evergreen Vikings. And hopefully nothing seriously wrong, but I think maybe just a cut maybe under the eye. They're putting a little pressure somewhere. Got a bandage down there. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where the problem was, but the officials spotted something that wasn't right. Stopped play, and now they're back into play here with 4:44 to play here in the first quarter. Bears up 6-3, opening quarter on the main stop scoreboard. Evergreen with the basketball. They kick it outside to Nate Brighton, and Brighton will be called for the walk, and both of these teams really having some problems early. Rick Heisler is going to keep some scores, some stats for me tonight, and I'll tell you what, both these teams have more turnovers right now than points here early. 4.5 to play, opening quarter. Bears up 6-3 here on the main stop scoreboard, and they have the basketball. Trying to figure out this zone again. The kick goes into the lane to Lamberson. Around the corner and then back outside the Cup. Cup gives it to Valderas, who drives the lane and then bounce pass to the left corner. No shot as the Vikings with a good defense. Valderas now drives the lane, and a falling off-balance shot catches the glass and goes in. And it's 8-3 Golden Bears with 4:05 to play here in the opening quarter. Lumbreeser brings the ball down, left baseline, dribbles and passes. Kicked out for the three-point shot, and just like that, Josh Downing, who just came off the bench, finds the distance and makes it 8-6. Bears up by 2 on the main stop scoreboard. Turnaround jump shot by Lamberson in the lane on the other end goes down, and just like that, the Bears stretch that lead back out to 10-6. 3:37 to go, first quarter. NWL OAL opener for both these basketball teams, and it's going to be a battle here tonight. Whistle and a palm as the ball will come back to the Bears. It was Nate Brighton who was trying to drive the lane, and he turned that basketball over, and just like that, he'll get a chance to go sit next to the coach, as they will substitute Austin Blanton in for him at the 3:24 mark. Bears bring it into the front court. Valderas with the top of the point. Kicks it over to Cup on the left wing. Back to Valderas. Over to Smith in the right point. Bounce pass to Lamberson in the lane. Then back outside. Lamberson goes to the right wing to Valderas, who drives the lane. And as he drives, he is fouled as he goes up. I think they're going to call it a shooting foul. I'm not sure whether Valderas was actually looking for a shot or looking to dish out, as he was in amongst the trees down inside the lane. But the official decides that it was a shooting foul as he was in the air and heading towards the bucket. And Valderas will get a chance to shoot a pair. Bears up 10-6. 3:08 to play as Valderas makes the first one, and it's 11-6 now. He'll have another one coming. For the Bears, Lamberson, Colt Arthur, Zane Cup, and Zach Nobus, along with Jason Valderas. And the officials right now down talking to Zach Nobus. Something with a knee pad adjustment or something, as he's standing waiting for the rebound. Valderas hits both of them, as he normally does, and they double up the Evergreen Vikings 12-6 with 3:07 to play in the opening quarter. Lumbreeser brings it back up the floor and hands it to Van Osteren. Back to Lumbreeser. Kicks to the right corner. Jump shot for 3 is no good by Hudek, and the Bears are there to pull down the rebound. It's Lamberson bringing it in a hurry into the front court to Valderas, who spins into the lane, gives it back to Lamberson. Looked like he's going to take a shot from the right wing, but decides not to. Cup bounces to Lamberson. He'll drive the lane, and they're going to say he turned that ball over as he was palming the basketball as he was heading towards the bucket. So the turnover gives the ball back to Evergreen. The Bears up 12-6, 2:39 to play, opening quarter here on the Bryan Sports, the BMU Sports Network here tonight. Golden Bear Sports Network, we'll get it out. Only one living brain cell, and we'll get it all working here. Jump shot for three is no good. In fact, it just barely got the backboard by Chandler Lumbreeser, and the Bears pull it down. They're in a hurry. Kick comes to the left corner, and the shot taken by Arthur gets blocked. And the ball turns back over to Evergreen. Lumbreeser brings it to the front court. He hands it off to Hudek. Hudek drives all the way to the left corner, then dishes off to Blanton. Blanton gives it to Loeffler, and Loeffler drives to the left baseline, finds the glass, knocks it down. It's 12-8. That's the first bucket of the night now for Loeffler. Minute 53 to play as Valdez takes it coast to coast and lays it off the glass and puts the Bears up by 6. That's the one thing you can't do with these Golden Bears. They are going to come at you at 90 miles an hour, so you got to get back on defense. If you don't, Jason Valdez will make you pay for it, just like he did right there. Valdez now with 8 points here on the night. Lamberson with 4 as Evergreen brings it into their front court. Hudek in the corner. He's being guarded down there by Valdez. He gets rid of the basketball. It goes to Adam Blanton. Blanton steps on the end line, and the ball will go back over to the Golden Bears. So turnovers galore for both teams, but Evergreen with a couple more than Bryan does, and it's going to be really fun to see what Heiss has for me at halftime, because both these teams playing some sloppy basketball early, and Evergreen having some real troubles being able to convert on their end. If you just joined us, we've got 1:23 to play in the first quarter. The Bears up 14-8 on the main stop scoreboard. And we got a little conversation between Coach Fisher and the officials here on the sideline. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on. We got both officials over here on the Bryan bench. Both the Bryan players are standing on the baseline waiting for the basketball to put it into play. And, we got an official that got bumped. He's got a little head bump, and it looks like he had a little problem over an eyebrow. So we got an official that needed a little medical attention. And now that he's taken care of and everything is working well, he hands the ball to Peyton Lamberson, and the ball will be inbounds to Evan Smith, who'll bring it into the front court for the Bears. Buck 19 to play first quarter. Bears up 14-8 here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Smith at the top of the key. He'll bounce to the left and then pass it off, and then it comes right back to him as they have Alex Moore now on the floor, 23. Smith again at the top of the key. Kicks the ball to Lamberson, over to Cup. Cup will drive and then dish off to Nobis, who sends it back to Cup for a three-point shot, and it's no good and rebounded by Chandler Lamberson. So the Bears moving the ball north and south, east and west. Finally got the three-point look that they wanted, but the shot a little bit short, and Evergreen will bring it the other way. Drive goes down the lane with the left hand is number 3, Josh Downing. He misses that shot, and Peyton Lamberson pulls it in. And with 31 seconds to go, I think the Bears are going to be happy to play for that last shot. 27 and ticking here in the first quarter. Bears up 14-8 here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. And Smith has the basketball at the midcourt line. He'll throw it to Cup on the right wing, and then it goes right back to Smith. It's about the midcourt stripe again. It goes to Moore, kick inside, then to Cup, who looks for the shot on the left wing. No shot as he'll pass again. Smith will drive the lane. Shot goes up a little bit too long. Rebound spot 4. Buzzer goes off, and the first quarter's in the books here in Bryan. So a pretty decent opening quarter here for the Bears in the opener for the NWAL tonight on the main stop scoreboard. They're on top, 14-8 here on the Bryan Golden Bears Sports Network. Back here at Bryan High School, and the Bears up 14-8 as we open up the second quarter with Chandler Lumbreeser in possession of the basketball for Evergreen. Dishes it off to one of his teammates and gives it right back, and Lumbreeser able to find a path right to the rim and lay that in. It's 14-10. So the Bears allowed a kind of an easy shot there for Lumbreeser, who kind of got lost after the pass. And they'll bring it down the other way. Kick goes to Cup in the corner. He takes a dribble, takes the jump shot from 15 on the right side. No good, and the rebound comes off to Josh Downing. Downing in a hurry, brings it to the front court, then pulls it back out and waits for some help. Lumbreeser comes down to give him that help, and he has it at the top of the key. He'll dribble to the right side, pick it up, hand it off to Josh Downing. Downing will dribble back out to the top of the key and head towards that left side. Tegan Pinkelman now with the basketball, and he tosses it over back to his teammate Chandler Lumbreeser. It was a little too hard, and it goes out of bounds and bounces up into about the third row there of the home side of the bleachers. So the Bears will have the basketball back with 7:08 to play here in the second quarter, and they have a 14-10 lead here on the main stop scoreboard. Valdez brings it down the floor, dribbles between his legs, then tosses it to Cup on the right wing. Back to Valdez at the top of the key, and back to Cup as they're playing a little pass. They'll go left side to Smith now, and back out to Valdez on the top of the key. He'll take a dribble, wait for Smith to clear on the right side. They find Cup down in the corner. Rainbow three, no good, but the rebound is fought for by Josh Jones, and then kick back out to Smith. Another jump shot, no good, and a nice effort by Lamberson to try to save it, but he saves it to Evergreen, who picks it up and has a hard time bringing the basketball into the front court. It's Mason Leffler who finally does get it down there, and as he crosses the midcourt stripe and gets down to the top of the key, a reach-in foul will go against the Bears, and that will be team foul number 2 and personal foul number 1 on Evan Smith here tonight. Bears will sit Zane Cup, and they will bring in Colt Arthur. Inbounds pass under the Evergreen basket, and an immediate shot goes up and hits the top of the backboard, and then is rebounded by the Bears by John Milliken. Ball goes the other end, down to the corner. Bears have the basketball. Smith brings it back out, and the Bears, with that passing offense, get it to Valdez. He makes the drive, but loses the handle on the basketball, and Evergreen comes up with it. It's Milliken had the basketball. Hands it off to Josh Downing, who brings it up, drives the lane, and we have a whistle and a blocking foul on the Bears, and that'll be Josh Jones who will pick up that foul, and for Jones, that will be number 2 on the night, and for the team, it will be number 3. So Nobis will come in, and Alex Moore will actually take a seat, and Josh Jones, with these 2 personal fouls, will stay on the floor with 6:04 to play here in the second quarter. Pretty good ball game going on, kind of sloppy early, but both teams now starting to find their rhythm just a little bit. Pinkelman with the basketball, hands it off to Lumbreeser. Lumbreeser looks towards that left wing, dribbles between his legs. Bears in front of him, so he'll pass it. It goes down into the right corner to Downing, and Downing now will bring it back out front to the right side. Dribbled and looking for a spot. This is a team that likes to set and shoot three-point shots. Lost the handle for a second, got the ball over to Lumbreeser. Lumbreeser ran out of real estate underneath and had to throw a desperation pass back towards somebody in a green shirt, and it ended up on the Bryan bench. So the turnover gives the ball back to the Bears with a 4-point lead, 14-10. 5:34 to play here, second quarter. Main stop scoreboard. Don't forget there are main stops on both sides of Bryan now, on the east side and west side, and a good cup of coffee is waiting for you tomorrow morning if you get up and head on in and say hi to the folks down there. Kick goes to the corner for the Bears. They'll take a three-point shot. It'll bounce up and finally come off to number 2, Pinkelman there for Evergreen, and they're in a hurry, heading the other direction. Downing drives to the rim, leaves it a little bit short. Rebound comes off to Evan Smith, and the Bears now will move in a pretty quick fashion into the front court. Smith down the lane, puts the shot up. It is blocked, but they'll say Pinkelman not only got ball, he got a little bit of arm, and it will send Smith to the free throw line. Evan Smith, the junior, to shoot 2. Bears up by 4, 14-10. We've played 3 minutes here in the second quarter. Smith eyes the first one, spins it a little bit, and then catches nothing but cords as it hits the floor. 15-10 now for Smith. That's point number 1 here tonight. Valdez leads all scorers with 8. And Lamberson has 6 for the Bears. And the second free throw by Smith is also good, and the Bears now with a 6-point cushion, 16-10. And they'll put a little token full court pressure on the Evergreen Vikings that they'll bring into the front court. Lumbreeser throws the ball over to Pinkelman. Back over to Downing, who dribbles out to the front. Kick comes down to the right corner for a 3, and that one catches nothing. And Zach Nobis picks it up off the bounce off the floor. Valdez in a hurry, kicks to the left wing to Smith. Smith finds a cutter coming across the middle, and its shot is up and no good, and Lumbreeser pulls down the rebound. That was Smith that took the shot. Evergreen on the other end, scoop shot at the rim, no good, but the rebound is fought for and pulled down by Van Ostren, and Evergreen will have another opportunity with 4:17 to play in the half. Hudek back over to Milliken, and Milliken is called for taking a little bit of a step. The big fella couldn't exactly decide what he wanted to do, whether he wanted to take the shot from the top of the key or whether he wanted to drive towards the rim. The drive towards the rim took an extra step, and the ball gets turned back over to the Bears. Cup back on the floor here for the Golden Bears, and he'll inbounds to Valdez in the backcourt. 4:09 to play in the half. Bears up 16-10 here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Ball gets kicked to the left wing, and Lamberson gives it back to Valdez, who was looking for some room on the baseline, couldn't find it. Now he's on the left wing. Back out the Cup. They'll move the ball to the right side, down to the right elbow. Back out to Lamberson. He'll take the shot. No good. Rebound comes off to Hudak for Evergreen. They're going to push it a little bit. Hudak across the midcourt stripe. Kicks it to the baseline and the drive, and this score for John Ruth as, 22, Mason Leffler, as Leffler was able to find a little bit of a space, knocks down the two-point shot. It's 16-12 here, and there's a timeout on the floor. With 3:38 to play in the half, Bears up 16-12 on the main stop scoreboard here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. And there's a couple of familiar faces down there as you see the Turnbulls, Tom Turnbull and Caleb. Tom on the left wing and Caleb on the right wing there as the Turnbull 5 sitting there in row number 3 here at the Bryan High School, as the Bears with a jump shot by Cup on that left wing goes in, and Cup finds the distance and the first bucket of the night for young Mr. Cup, and the Bears have an 18-12 lead now, 6 points up. Hope you're enjoying the stream tonight. We've got a full video stream going on for you here this evening. Brighton kicks the ball outside, and Hudak makes the three-point shot, and that's what we worried about a little bit against this basketball team tonight. Evergreen has that ability to kind of warm up from the outside of that three-point circle, and when they start making those, they can be a bit of a difficult situation. Bears with the drive, and the whistle and the traveling call will go against the Golden Bears as Evan Smith trying to make a little noise down the lane and shuffle that back foot. Now he applies a little pressure in the backcourt. Evergreen has had a few problems turning the ball over tonight, and Leffler does get it across the midcourt stripe and dishes the basketball off. Bears playing extremely well, and Evergreen really having some troubles finding that open look here this evening, which is exactly what Coach Fisher wanted to do. This is a basketball team that if you allow them to have a real good look at things, they're going to make your evening very, very long. Ball being fought for in the lane at the rim, and the whistle will go against the Golden Bears. And the foul will go against the Bears, Zach Nobis. For Nobis, that will be his first. For the team, that's 4. And that will send number 22, Leffler, to the free throw line. Leffler makes the first one, and the lead now cut to 18-16 with 2:23 to play in the half. He'll get another opportunity. Bears have 4 team fouls. The Vikings with 3. This one's no good, and the rebound is fought for. And a jump ball will send the basketball Bryan's way as the arrow pointing towards the home team. Valdez brings it up the floor at the midcourt stripe with his left hand. Switches, then kicks it over the Cup on the left wing. Back to Valdez at the top of the lane, and he'll kick it down inside to Lamberson. The pass a little bit low, and the jump ball situation turns that basketball right back over to Evergreen. So both teams losing the jump ball situation on both ends, and the arrow now goes back Bryan's way. Evergreen basketball, 2:05 to play here in the opening half. Leffler brings it down, kicks it to the right wing, no good. The jump shot is a little bit strong by Brighton, and the Bears pull it down. Valdez kicks it over to Smith on the right wing. Back out to Valdez at the top of the key. Kind of got away from him for just a second. He'll drive the lane and kick the Cup. Cup back to Valdez at the top of the key. Over to Smith from the right wing for 3. Hits the front of the iron, no good, and the rebound comes off to Van Ostrand. To Hudak. And it goes over to Downing. Back out front to Brighton. Over to Hudak. Drives the lane. This is a wild shot. No good, but it's rebounded by Downing. Evergreen keeps the basketball. Back over to Brighton. Brighton leaves it a little bit short, and the Bears' Valdez has the basketball. Tries to kick it out to Smith on the fast break, and it's intercepted. Pass goes cross court over to Evergreen, and they'll leave that one a little bit short. Van Ostrand. But as the Bears' Cup comes down with the rebound, he's standing on the end line, and the ball will go back over to Evergreen. So with 1:08 to play in the opening half, it's Bears 18, Evergreen 16, here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Hudak inbounds from release his basket. Back out front to Downing. He'll drive left, trying to get down that lane. Runs out of real estate and throws the ball up underneath the bucket, and it'll be Golden Bear basketball. Into the front court comes Colt Arthur. Arthur over to Cup, back over to Smith, and they'll play half-court ball now as they move everything back out towards that midcourt line. Down into the right corner to Novus, and back out to Smith on the right wing. Passes the ball over to Arthur, and then back out to Smith, who brings it all the way back out to the center circle. Trying to stretch things out and find that lane where they can drive down and get an easy shot against Evergreen, but having a little problems right now. Smith being guarded pretty solid by Leffler. And the Bears more than willing to wait for that last shot as we're down to 20 seconds and counting here in this first half. 18-16, Bears up by 2 points and looking for that final score here before the halftime break. Smith drives left wing, kicks to the right corner, jump shot is short. Rebound by the Bears. Shot at the buzzer, no good, and the Bears will take a 2-point lead into the halftime intermission as they lead 18-16 here on the main stop scoreboard on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Pretty basic. And we're back here at Bryan High School. Jim Funderburg along with Mook Roofer, the AD here at Bryan High School. And first of all, Mook, let's just talk about this basketball team because they got off to a slow start. But I'll tell you what, Coach has done a nice job getting these guys playing together, playing hard, playing well. 5 in a row, man. You got to be impressed.
Yeah, they're really starting to come along. I didn't get to see them over Christmas break with we had our girls tournament here at the same time they were away, and they played. It sounded like they played pretty well over there. Got a good, nice win against Maumee, and I saw them against Stryker the other night, and you can see the steps that they're taking, and they're coming. Struggling a little bit with a good Evergreen team, good young Evergreen team right now, but hopefully we can get things going in the second half.
You know, one of the problems we're going to face all year long is just height, and you can't do anything about that. I mean, there's a team that's young, but they're young and 6'3" and 6'4" tall too. That makes it a little more difficult.
Yeah. You know, our biggest kid in the program is in 8th grade right now, so you can't just wait around on something like that. You just got to go out and play and do the best you can with what you got. Yeah,
and they're doing a great job. Coach Fisher, I'll tell you what a great hire. You've got to be happy with the ability and to bring a young guy like that into the program too.
Oh yeah, it's panned out so far with how I thought things would get done around here and the direction he'd take it. And a big help too is he's got 3 former head coaches sitting on the bench with him too. And I think he'd tell you can't really jump in a better situation than that, seeing some of that experience as well. So that's been helpful, I believe.
Yeah, I think it has been too. You've got a big event coming up next week. Can you tell the folks a little bit about it?
Yeah, we're really excited about it. OHSA's kind of spearheaded it, and we're going to take it on a local level. We're inviting, it's going to be Military Appreciation Night. We're going to offer free admission to any current military member or veteran, so they'll be able to walk in the door free. We're going to also honor them shortly in between games, and then it also kind of coincides. They did it OHSA wide, so we didn't get to pick the date, but it also coincides with our senior parent night. So we got a lot going on next week. So it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good atmosphere. Swanton should be pretty solid. So we're looking forward to it. It should be a fun event. Just a way to say thank you to those people who do so much for us that probably, couldn't get enough appreciation as it is.
I don't think you can ever give those folks enough appreciation. There's just no doubt about it. I can't imagine the sacrifices that some of these folks have given to the country, and it should be a great night. The gym, my gosh, man, every time I come back here, my jaw just drops. What a wonderful facility, and you got to love it here this year, I think.
Yep, it gets a little scary coming up into the crow's nest. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. We've enjoyed it. Working out a lot of kinks here and there. We were messing with scoreboards earlier today, but we'll get those things ironed out and go from there. So.
All right, one more time. When's the event and this coming week?
It'll be Friday, next Friday, home game with Swanton. Really appreciate anybody coming out, but especially military, any former military veterans or whatever that are currently serving. We'd appreciate having you out here. We'll get you in free, and just a way of saying thank you to them. And hopefully it'll be a good event, and we'll get the word out a little bit more this week in some other avenues.
Very good. Last thing, and I'll let you get out of here. Opening night of the NWAL. That's always got to be a fun night.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we can land up here on top and get off to a good start and see where that takes us the rest of the way.
No doubt. Mook Roofer, our guest, we appreciate his time here at halftime. The Bears up 18-16 here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. All right, back here at Bryan High School, I've got Rick Heisler with me. He's been keeping stats. Rick, what kind of stands out to you for that first half?
Well, scoring's down, way down for both teams. Bryce Hudick has 3, Chandler Lumbreezer has 5, Phoenix Van Ostrad 6, and their best player, Mason Leffler, with just 5 for Evergreen. For Bryan, Jaden Valdez has 8, and Peyton Lamberson 6. They were in the first quarter, and then in the second quarter, Evan Smith had 2, Zane Cup 2. The stat, Bryan 1 of 12 from the field in that second quarter. They're 7 of 24 for the game, 29%, 0 for 7 from the field. Evergreen not a whole lot better. They're 6 of 21 from the field, 29%, 2 of 7 from 3.
And I'll tell you, the turnovers early for both teams, a bunch of them there, weren't there?
Yeah, both teams have 9 turnovers, and for both these teams, that's way too many.
No doubt. Rick Heisler, thank you, buddy. Go back over to B-Rock and take care of business with Andy. We thank you for all your stats, buddy.
No problem.
All right. We're about ready to get things going here in the second half again. Jim Funderburg back with you on the Golden Bear Sports Network. And the Bears and the Vikings about ready to lace them back up here for this third quarter. Bears up by 2 on the main stop scoreboard, 18-16. And the Bears have the basketball. Valdez brings the basketball into the front court. Over to Cup. Back to Valdez on the top of the key. Kick it down inside, and then over to Lamberson, who takes the jump shot from the right elbow. And on the rebound, there's a whistle and a foul that will go against the Bears. Had to see who that was going to be called on. It's Josh Jones. Back to the starters here, both teams. Zane Cup, Peyton Lamberson, Evan Smith, Josh Jones, and Jason Valdez for the Bears. In fact, it will go against Evergreen instead. So Bears will maintain possession. Valdez works down along that left baseline. Back out to Smith, to Cup at the top of the key. Back over to Smith on the left wing. He'll just dribble towards that middle stripe. Kick goes to Lamberson down on the left baseline as they find that little opening, and Lamberson takes it strong to the rim for the lay-in, and the harm will send him to the free throw line for the three-point play. Good job by the Bears to be patient. They work that ball back and forth from one side to the other, and they're waiting for that one little opening. Lamberson able to step along that left baseline, take one step towards the rim. They found him with the pass. He gets the lay-in, and the free throw is a little too long. Fought for and brought down by Van Ostrand for Evergreen. Gets the ball to Hudak, who brings it in the front court. Works down towards the left side, down the left baseline. Floater goes up and goes in. 20-18 on the main stop scoreboard as Valdez brings it right back the other way. Into the lane, tries to bounce past the Cup on the left side, but it's kicked out of bounds by Lumbreezer. It'll be Bears basketball. 9 turnovers for both teams in that first half. Kind of a tough way to go for both of these basketball teams. Lamberson with the up fake and then around, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds by Brighton, who didn't go for that fake, just waited for Lamberson to go up and swatted the ball out of bounds. It'll be Bears ball under their bucket. Inbounds pass quickly to Lamberson, who has a wide open lay-in, and the Bears up 22-18. Evergreen fell asleep just a little bit on that inbounds pass, and the Bears have an easy bucket. 6:44 to play third quarter. Backdoor cut for the easy lay-in for 22, Mason Leffler. And both these teams seem to find their way here in quarter number 3. Cup gets cut off on the left baseline. Gets back outside to Valdez, who gives it back to the Cup on the right wing. Down to Lamberson on the left baseline, and then back over to Smith, and they'll bring it back outside and reset it all over again. Bears looking to attack. Valdez gets into the lane. Shot no good. Rebound comes off to Evergreen. That's Van Ostrand. He'll kick it to Lumbreezer, who'll bring it up to the front court. Hand it off to Brighton. Brighton to Van Ostrand. And the jump shot from the top of the key is a little bit short, and the rebound comes off to the Bears. Valdez all the way up underneath, a little bit too strong with that scoop shot, and the rebound off to Evergreen again. 22-20 if you just tuned in. Evergreen with a shot at the rim, no good, but the rebound and the putback by Brighton ties this ball game at 22 with 5:39 to play here in the third quarter. Smith on the right wing, back out to Valdez on the top of the key. Back over to Smith, who drives and kicks down to Lamberson on the baseline. He's got triple coverage down there, and a whistle and a walk on Lamberson gives the ball back to the Evergreen Vikings. And they have their opportunity to have the first lead that they've had for a long, long time at the 5:25 mark here in the third quarter. 22-22. Lumbreeser brings it to the front court. Drives to the right wing. Gets cut off there by Lamberson. Kicks it back outside to Leffler. Back over to Hudak, who takes the shot, no good, and the long rebound comes back to Lumbreeser. Dish underneath, and the ball gets swatted away by the Bears. Valdez brings it to the front court. Kicks to Smith in the right corner. Tries to work his way down the lane, then has to give the basketball up. Over to Cup on the left wing. That three-point shot will be short, and the rebound comes off to Lumbreeser. Valdez steps in front of the long baseball pass, and he'll bring it the other direction. A little spin shot by the rim is no good, but the rebound comes off to the Bears, Josh Jones, and the reach-in foul will go against Evergreen. It will be a common foul, the third foul now on the team. The second foul now on Hudak by Evergreen, and the Bears will keep the basketball and inbounds underneath their own bucket. 4:41 to play here, third quarter. Bears and the Vikings are knotted at 22. Ball comes out to Arthur. Jump shot's no good. Rebound comes long off the hands of Hudak, out of bounds. Bears ball right in front of their bench. Both teams having some troubles here now in this mid-stretch of the third quarter, finding the rim. Arthur will inbound to Valdez. Back over to Arthur on the left wing. Back out to Valdez at the top of the key. Bounce pass to Moore. Fights it inside to Lamberson. Lamberson is triple team, kept the basketball alive somehow, and was able to get it out to Valdez. Valdez now drives and kicks over to Moore. Jump shot from about 15, no good, and the rebound comes down to the tallest guy on the floor, Brighton. And Evergreen dodges a bullet. 3 shots, no points. Bears give the ball back to the Vikings. All the way to the other end. Jump shot is wide, but the rebound comes off to Van Ostrand. Ostrand puts it up, no good, but we've got a whistle on the rebound and a foul that will go against Josh Jones. And for the Bears, that will be their first team foul. And in fact, they will call that against Lamberson, and that will be number 1 on Lamberson. Lamberson with 10 points so far tonight. He and Valdez make up 18 of the points, and as we call his name, he steals the inbounds pass, and Lamberson's in a hurry coming down the floor. Kick off to the left wing to Arthur. Arthur cuts off at the baseline, so he brings it back out, gives it to Valdez. Valdez with a runner in the lane, no good. The rebound comes off to Hudak, and a whistle and a reach-in against the Bears. And the foul will go on Lamberson, and that's 2 quick ones on Lamberson. That is 2 for him on the evening, and 2 now on the team in the second half. Coach Fisher out to talk to the officials just a little bit about what's going on underneath that bucket. A little pushing and shoving, and maybe he thought that the guys in the green shirts were the ones that were doing the most pushing and shoving. Bears will put a full court press now. Valdez will guard the inbounds pass from Hudak. Just token pressure. Now they'll trap Hudak across the front, the midcourt stripe. They'll get the ball down to Brighton, and Brighton has an easy lay-in. And just like that, the Bears find themselves down by a bucket, 24-22 with 3:28 to play third quarter. Kicks goes left side to Moore. Moore back to Valdez at the free throw line. Dishes off to the right side, and the jump shot by Colt Arthur will be a little bit short, and the rebound tipped and down to Brighton. And Evergreen has the basketball with a chance to stretch the lead to its largest point here for the Evergreen Vikings if they can make a bucket here. They're up by 2, and that's the biggest lead they've had all night long. Drive and the dish from Van Ostrand. Ball comes out to Lumbreeser, who stops at the top of the key and then feeds it back over to Brighton on the left wing. Goes down to the corner to Van Ostrand, and he'll give it right back to Lutler. Lutler drives the lane. Right-hander's a little bit short, and the Bears pick the ball up. It's Lamberson, and he drives to the opposite end, and he'll be fouled as he tries to lay the ball in on the Bryan end. So it's Lamberson going to the free throw line with 2 shots. And the foul goes against Lumbreeser. That will be his first. It's team foul number 4 on Evergreen. And the shooting foul will send Peyton Lamberson, the junior, 6'1" junior forward, to the free throw line. First one bounces around, catches the glass, and then a hometown bounce and through. And it cuts that lead down to 1 as the Bears with some massive substitutions right now. They'll bring Zach Nobis up off the bench, comes back into the ball game along with Evan Smith. And they'll join Valderez and Lamberson as the 5 on the floor for the Bears. Lamberson with a second shot. This one goes up, catches the front of the iron, hits the glass, and falls down as well. So the Bears tie it up at 24 on the 2 free throws by Lamberson. 2:34 to play, third quarter. Main Stop Scoreboard has the game tied at 24. Dish goes inside, then comes back out front. Lumbreezer kicks it into the quarter to Hudak. Back over to Lumbreezer on the right wing. Cross-court pass goes over to Downing, and Downing will drive and gets cut off by Smith. Double team on Hudak, and then back over to Downing, who misses the lay-in, and the Bears pull down the rebound. Zach Nobis with the bound, and I'll tell you, Downing, I don't think expected to be quite that wide open, and just put that lay-in a little bit too high up off the glass, and it caught the front iron and back into the hands of the Golden Bears. They'll play a little pass on their end. Very patient offense right now. Valderez between his legs, between a couple of Vikings, and the lay-in was just a little bit to the right of the rim. And on the rebound, Jason Valderez will have a bit of a frustration foul as he will reach in. That will be his first foul of the night to go along with his 8 points. And with 1:44 to play here in the third quarter, these two teams are tied at 24 on the Main Stop Scoreboard. Lumbreezer brings the ball into the front court and dishes it off to Downing. Downing over to Milliken. Back over to Lumbreezer, who drives the lane. A little jump shot off the glass, and what do they tell you? If you can put it in the box, it'll go in, and it did just that time. 26-24. That's 4 now for Lumbreezer. Valderez quickly down to Smith, who finds an opening into the lane, and he lays it in to tie it up at 26. So Smith now with 4 points on the night, and the Bears and the Vikings are tied at 26 with 1:11 to play in the third quarter. Jump shot's a little bit too hard by Leffler, and the Bears pull down the rebound. Smith brings it to the front court, bounces the ball into Valderez at the free throw line. Ball gets poked away, but Valderez is able to come up with it, and then the reach in by Downing, and the foul against the Evergreen Vikings will be team foul number 5. A common foul will be inbounds at midcourt, right in front of the home crowd here at Bryan. Under a minute to play right now, third quarter, 56.7 ticks left in this ball game, and they will toss the ball into the backcourt, and Valderez will pick it up and take his time as he moves across the timeline. I don't think the Bears are going to play for 1, but you never can tell. 46 seconds as they just take their time, work their passing lanes, and looking for a little bit of a hole. Valderez tries to drive the lane, then dishes off to Cup on the right wing. He'll bring it into the paint, leaves the shot a little bit short. The rebound is contested, and the Bears' Colt Arthur will pull it down. 26 seconds now as Valderez looks like he's going to drive the rim, but then he pulls it back out, and I think the Bears now will wait for that last shot with 18 ticks left in the third quarter. 26 all on the Main Stop Scoreboard. Pretty good basketball team as we open up the NWOAL here tonight on the Golden Bear Sports Network and Q96.5 FM. Ball goes into the left corner, the fake by Nobis, and then the jump shot with 2 seconds, and the buzzer goes off as the rebound's pulled down by Evan Smith, and that's how 3 will go down in the books. These two teams are tied 26 all here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. 8 minutes left to play here in Bryan, and these two teams are knotted at 26 here in the opening game of the NWOAL tonight. Glad to have you with us here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Stream being brought to you tonight by Bryan Municipal Utilities Cable and High-Speed Internet. And the high-speed stream tonight, hope you're enjoying it if you're at your house here this evening. Pass goes cross-court and way over the head of Lumbreezer and into the stands, and I think the Turnbulls almost had a souvenir on that side there tonight. Jim Funderburg all by himself here tonight. Chris Malinga had to take care of some business this evening, so we hope you're enjoying the ball game, and we're looking forward to having Chris back in the saddle with us here the next time we join you next week for that military game next Friday night here at the Golden Bears gym here at the high school. We're going to name this thing, and I think we're going to call it the Char Miller Arena here pretty soon. How's that? And the Charettes, maybe we'll call it the Charettes Arena. Valdez kicks to Cup on the right wing, and he bounce passes down to the low block. Shot goes up and is blocked, and that was Zach Nobis. But the Bears maintain the basketball. Valdez puts up a shot before he could get it off, though. There's a whistle and a foul underneath. And I'll tell you what, I do believe it looks like it was Josh Jones that kind of got roughed up down there on that baseline. And Josh is having a couple of problems right now, kind of shaking the cobwebs out of his head just a little bit. Smith drives the lane, head fake, no good. And the jump shot is missed, and the rebound comes off to Brighton for the Evergreen Vikings. They'll bring it to the front court. It's Lumbreeser. Gives it off to Pinkelman. Lob pass down underneath again to Blanton, and Blanton is fouled as he tries to get up to the rim. Foul will go against the Bears. That'll be their team foul number 5, and it will be credited to Josh Jones. And for Jones, that is 3 now in the night. Nobody really in any kind of foul trouble here for either team as we head down to the last 6:51 to play in this ball game. First free throw is off and bounces all the way over to the Evergreen bench. 26 all. These two teams now have played about a minute here in this fourth quarter, and they're still both looking to dent that scoreboard. Blanton will have another one. This one's on its way, and it catches nothing but cords. 27-26. The main stop scoreboard has Evergreen on top here as the Bears bring the ball up the floor. It's Valdez over to the right wing as they're playing a little pass with Smith over to Lamberson on the left side. Ball goes into the pivot and then back out to Valdez. He drives the lane and has the ball rejected at the rim. Blanton is the young guy that got the basketball, but he also got a little bit of Valdez, and the foul will send Jason to the free throw line. Valdez has not scored since the first quarter of this basketball game. He's had 8 since the opening period, and he's looking for some more points, and now would be a good time to get a couple from the free throw line. First one catches nothing but cords, and the Bears have tied it up at 27. This one would give the Bears the lead for the first time in about 4 minutes, and it does as that one goes through as well, and it's 28-27 Bears, and they'll put some token pressure on it in the backcourt. It's Cup pressuring the basketball. Hudak brings it in the front court, has it tipped away and out of bounds, and it will remain with the Evergreen Vikings as Cup got a hand in there and knocked it out of bounds. Lumbreeser will inbounds right in front of Big Chet. Big Chet Dangler here at the Bryan High School. He'll kick the ball into Downing into the backcourt. He'll bring it into the front court. Ball goes to Blanton. Blanton gives it up to Pinkelman. Over to Leffler, and Leffler drives, and a blocking foul will be called on Evan Smith. For the Bears, that will be 5 team fouls. For Smith, that's 2 personals. And the inbounds will come right from underneath the bucket there for Evergreen. Bears with some good pressure. Downing catches the ball out of the midcourt stripe, then has his pocket pick, but is able to come up with a basketball. But the ball goes back into the backcourt, and he'll be called for over and back, and a real nice job by Peyton Lamberson to put the pressure on that basketball. And Downing basically just had no place to go when he sat down with the basketball. He was sitting on the wrong side of the stripe. 6:09 to play in the ball game. Bears with a 1-point lead, 28-27. Valdez with the basketball over to Smith. He's looking for Cup in the corner. Then he kicks it into Lamberson on the wing. Down inside and fed back out to Valdez. He'll take a jumper from about 15. It's no good, and the rebound comes off to Lumbreeser. Lumbreeser tries to get it down the court, and the ball's stolen away from the Bears, and then it's tipped away by Downing and out of bounds. So both teams trying to intercept the other team's pass, and Downing knocks it out of bounds. The ball will stay with the Bears as they'll have it on the other end of the basketball court. The ball rolls all the way behind the bleachers on the other side, and they have to kind of disappear after that basketball. And I don't think I'd make it back through that cage there myself personally. But Evan Smith, young fella, able to squeeze his way in and get the ball back into play. 5:42 to play in the ball game. Brighton about it, ready to enter the game for Evergreen. Smith on the left wing, back out front to Valdez, back to Smith and down inside then to Jones. Ball goes inside to Lamberson, who turns and fires, and this one's good. 30-27 as the Bears now with a 3-point lead at the 5:21 mark. Fourth quarter play, opening night, NWAL. Somehow Lumbreeser gets around the coverage by Evan Smith and has an easy lay-in. And at the 5:09 mark, it's a 1-point game at 30-29. Lamberson with the dribble and the foul. And the reach-in will go against Evergreen, and that should be foul number 7. And it is 32 Blanton that picks up the foul. And because that's foul number 7, Lamberson will get a chance to go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Colt Arthur will check in. Smith will sit down for the Bears. And Lamberson with an opportunity now to get that 3-point cushion back as he makes the first one. Valdez, Lamberson, Cup, Colt Arthur, and Josh Jones on the floor right now for the Golden Bears. Second one by Lamberson also hits the mark. And it's 32-29 with 5:04 to play here in the ball game. Lumbreeser brings the ball up. Evergreen looking for an opening. Cup's got him. Good coverage by Cup. Forces him to give the ball up to Brighton. Brighton kicks it to the left corner to Downing. Downing gives it to Brighton again, who spins and gives it back out to Downing on the left wing. Valdez all over him. Good job by Jones to step in front of that pass, and the Bears have the turnover, and Valdez is running. Spins at the free throw line, kicks to Cup on the corner, and Cup uses the glass, knocks it in, and the Bears have a 5-point cushion, and the Vikings won a timeout. 4:28 to play in the ball game. Bears up 34-29 on the main stop scoreboard here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Back here at Bryan High School, you see Coach Fisher on your left right now talking to his guys, and I got to believe he's pretty happy the way things are going. Their defense has been able to turn the Evergreen Vikings over twice in the last 2 possessions, and thanks to those, they're up 5 right now with the Evergreen Vikings in possession of the basketball. Now inbounds underneath the Bryan basket with 4:28 to play, and the Bears come up and pick up full court. Ball comes into Loeffler, and Loeffler gives it right back to Lumbreeser, who will bring it up in the front court. Top of the key, he'll fire a 3, and he's got nothing but net. So Lumbreeser with a 3-point shot cuts the lead down to 2, 34-32 with 4:14 to play. Valdez brings it up, sends it over to the right wing to Colt Arthur. Back to the other side to Cup, back out to Valdez on the top of the key. Back to Arthur on the right side. He'll throw it down to Lamberson, who tries to get into the lane, then dishes back out to Valdez. Down to Jones on the baseline, and then back outside to Arthur. And Valdez will restart at the top of the key. Arthur takes a step in, jump shot from 18, no good. Rebound comes off to Lumbreeser. And Lumbreeser brings it into the front court. Now he's looking for a little bit of help. Cup's got him. Ball gets thrown errantly, and Cup's going to come up with it. He's going to drive to the other end off the glass, and a nice job by Zane Cup to take his time, find the rim, and lay that ball in. 36-32 now. Bears up by 4 with 3:23 to play in the ball game. Inbounds pass almost taken away by the Bears' Colt Arthur. Instead, Lumbreeser will bring it into the front court. Dribble to the right wing. Hand the ball off to Loeffler. Loeffler takes the jumper, and man, Loeffler hit that one from NBA 3 range. And it's 36-35 for Loeffler. That's 10 now on the night. He leads all the Vikings here in scoring this evening. Valdez will dribble and dish to Cup on the right wing, then back out to Valdez. They'll swing it to the left side, then back out to Valdez at the center of the floor. Down inside to Arthur, and then back out to Valdez again. Down to Cup in the left wing, down to the corner. Back outside to Valdez. Cup on that left baseline again. Kicks it down inside, and then back out to Cup. Bears looking for a very patient shot right now. Over to Colt Arthur, who tries a little bit on the right baseline, then back out to Valdez, and a timeout called by Coach Fisher. Didn't like what he was seeing for 2:28 to play in the ball game. He says, let's talk it over, so we'll just keep this one right here. Ball game being brought to you tonight by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, always backing our athletes all season long. Bryan Ford Lincoln, we're just down the road from high prices. Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable and high-speed internet provider. Andrews, O'Neill & Lowe, your auto owner's agent in Bryan. Northwest State Community College, helping you take that next step to a new job or a new career. Overland Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of service for all types of people. Darrow Shirkey Ford, the fastest growing dealership in Northwest Ohio. Grill Funeral Home, serving families for 4 generations, and newcomers Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger. And the main stop scoreboard shows it 36-35 Bears as they inbounds right in front of the home crowd. Valdez at the midcourt stripe, kicks it back over to Evan Smith, and now they're going to take their time. Valdez stretches it all the way back out to that midcourt stripe, and right at that Bryan B, he bounces over to Smith. Nobody guarding Smith, so he hangs on to it for a minute. Back to Valdez, nobody coming out for them, so they'll bring the Vikings out, try to spread them open and get a driving lane. Smith now gets double teamed at the B, and he's going to travel. Bears had the right idea, but Smith didn't get rid of the ball in time, and the double team caused him to take an extra step, and the ball goes over to Evergreen, 36-35. Bears up by 1 with 2 minutes exactly to play in this basketball game. Juan Ostrand gives the ball off to Lumbreeser, who dribbles to the top of the key, spins down the lane. Boy, he took an extra step. It looked like 2, but got away with it, and the lay-in puts the Bears up by a point. Fisher not happy with it, and I don't blame him. Lumbreeser got a kind of a bonus step in that. That wasn't even a Euro step. That was just an extra. Ball goes to the corner to Josh Jones. Jones dribbles and stops. Ball goes into the lane and then back outside to Smith, and Smith will bring it back out. Valdez will try to drive the lane, but we got a whistle underneath. And a 3-second call on the Bears will turn the basketball back over to Evergreen. Evergreen with a 1-point lead at 37-36. Valdez on the trap, and he'll get called for the reach-in. Boy, he had the right idea. Lumbreeser didn't see him coming. And if he could have taken that ball away clean, he was on his way to the other end for an easy lay-in. Instead, he got a little bit of an arm. And the foul will give the ball back to the Vikings here. And they'll inbounds right in front of us at the midcourt stripe. Ball gets thrown over the head of Brighton and catches the Golden Bears sign on the other end of the baseline, and the Bears will have the basketball back. That one's some nice defense right on the ball as Valdez was pressuring the inbounds pass, and the pass went over everybody's head, under the basket, hit the Golden Bears sign, and the Bears have the basketball back with 1:14 to play in the game and trailing by 1, 37-36. Valdez taking his time, kicks it inside to Lamberson. Lamberson back out to Cup, back to Valdez at the top of the key. Cup goes back into Lamberson. He's triple teamed, and we've got a reach-in foul against the Vikings. And that one will go against number 10, Lumbreeser, and Lumbreeser not happy with everything, but he got all arm. Bears waiting to substitute Josh Jones, and Jones will come in, and Nobis will sit down. And Lamberson with 2 big free throws. Last time he was at the charity line, he hit both of them. 2 right here will put the Bears back on top by a point. 1 minute exactly as he leaves the opener a little bit short. And on the rebound, we have a foul on Josh Jones. Nope. Yeah, you go against Jones. So all of a sudden they were stopping at the free throw line at the Bryan side. Now they'll go the other end. Bears now with 7 team fouls, and that will send the Vikings down to the other end to shoot. On the rebound, Jones basically undercut Van Ostrand, who was going up for the rebound. As he came down, he was fouled, and he'll go to the other end to shoot the 1 and bonus. 1 minute exactly. Clock is stopped. Shot is missed. Smith pulls down the rebound for the Bears. Down to Valdez on the right wing. Back out to Smith at the top of the key. Drives to the free throw line, then dashes to Valdez, who kicks it down into the right corner. Back out to Smith on the right wing, and Smith does a little dance step. And the turnover gives the ball back to Evergreen with 44 seconds to play in the ball game. And the timeout will be called by Evergreen. We'll take this one with them. 44 seconds left. Bears up or down by 1, 37-36 here on the main stop scoreboard. Back here at Bryan High School, 37-36, Evergreen Vikings lead the Golden Bears. And it will be a non-shooting foul here for Evergreen, as they will inbounds on the right in front of the Bryan home side here, and then the backcourt, Valdez putting a little pressure. He bumped into Hudak. Hudak took an extra step. I'll tell you what, a little bit of Jerry Kiefer, displeased Jerry Kiefer down here on this end, as he thought his guy Hudak got bounced down along that baseline and was about to travel. Kiefer was looking for the foul. Referees said no harm, no foul, and Kiefer called the timeout to avoid the potential turnover. And with 39 seconds to go, it will be Evergreen basketball. And the Bears trail 37-36 on the main stop scoreboard. So far, leading the score for Bryan tonight in all scores is Peyton Lamberson. He has 15 points on the night. Jason Valdez with 10, but he got 8 of those in the first quarter and really has been held kind of scoreless since that time. On the other end, Lumbreeser with 10, or with the 11, I'm sorry. Number 10 has the 11, and Leffler, number 22, has 10. So those are the two leading scorers on the Evergreen side. Kind of a low-scoring contest tonight. A couple of teams that on a normal night will score somewhere in the high 40s, but tonight a pretty good defensive effort and a couple of turnovers and obviously a few opening night jitters. And the scoreboard shows 37-36 now, as Evergreen will inbounds underneath the Bryan basket. And the Bears will put some full court pressure on the basketball. Ball comes in. Bears go to rip for the basketball. Smith will get called for the foul. And Lumbreeser will get an opportunity now to head the other direction and attempt to put a couple of points on the scoreboard. 37.9 ticks left in this ball game. For Smith, that's foul number 3. For the Bears, it's team foul number 8. And Lumbreeser will come down to the other end. Lumbreeser hitting 58% on the year from the charity stripe. And right now, the Bears are hoping that miss is on the front end, not the back end. First shot is up, and it's off, and Cup's right there to pull down the rebound. Let's see how the Bears will play this. Cup's going to bring it into the front court in a hurry. He'll take a jump shot from the free throw line, and he will be fouled. And Zane Cup will get an opportunity to go to the free throw line to shoot a pair with 30.7 seconds to go in this ball game. Interesting decision there by Coach Fisher, as he was going for a quick bucket. They have spent an awful lot of time in this position holding the basketball for the last shot, but being down one, I'm sure he wanted to get on the right side of that scoreboard as Cup misses the opener. He'll have another try. 37-36, Evergreen on top by 1. Zane Cup with an opportunity to tie this thing up. Takes his time, throws it up a little too hard, but he follows his own rebound, and he gets the ball, and he gets his rebound, gets it to Lamberson, and Lamberson knocks it off the glass and in, as you can hear the crowd erupt. And Coach Kiefer says, we need to talk about this. 38-37, Bears now take the lead by 1 with 24 ticks left on the clock in the opening night here of the NWOAL. Around the conference tonight, Swanton is at Archbold. Patrick Henry is at Liberty Center, and Wauseon is at Delta. So a big ball game between Swanton and Archbold this evening. It'll be interesting to see the scoreboard on that one tomorrow morning. And tune into B-Rock, and Andy Briggle will have the score for you right away first thing tomorrow morning. But that is maybe the biggest game of the season, with what is considered to be the two top teams in the conference, and they're playing at Archbold tonight. Next Friday night, Archbold will be at Wauseon. Swanton will be at Bryan. Liberty will be at Evergreen, and Delta will be at Patrick Henry. And Wauseon, the other team that kind of works their way into that trifecta at the top. When the coaches saw the league here this year, they said Swanton, Archbold, and Wauseon, the three teams that are expected to be contending for this title. And Evergreen and Bryan, they're in that next wave, and they line up that way right at this moment, as Wauseon is 8-1 in the year, Archbold 7-2, Bryan at 7-4, Evergreen at 5-5. Swan's off to kind of a slow start with 3-7, but they had some injury problems, and they're starting to get healthy. And the Bears now will guard the length of the court, as Evergreen will put the basketball into play underneath the Bryan bucket. Easy inbounds to Lumbreezer, and the Bears will allow him to bring that basketball up. He's got Lamberson guarding him as he crosses the midcourt stripe. 15 seconds, a reach-in call, and then a walk. Wow, Josh Jones looked like he was going to get called for the reach, but before he got called for the reach, the officials signaled a walk on Evergreen. So instead of the foul, we get the walk, and the ball goes back over to the Bears with 14.3 seconds to go. Coach Kiefer, who's in his 23rd season, says, now I've seen it all, as he goes into his huddle here in front of his bench at the timeout. Bryan has one timeout left. Evergreen, yeah, they show 2 timeouts, but I'm not sure whether that was before they took this one or not. Bryan in the double bonus, Evergreen in the bonus, but the important number right now is 14.3 seconds, and the important statistic at this point in time is it will be Bryan basketball when this game gets back underway here. And Kiefer, talking to the official just a little bit, says, hey, my guy got bumped, and the official said, but yeah, not before he walked. So it'll be Bryan ball at the midcourt stripe. And Zane Cup, nope, they're going to change now. Peyton Lamberson now will inbounds the ball. And the important thing for the Bears is to get this thing in before that 5-second call. Good defense by Evergreen, and the Bears will have to call that timeout, and that's their last timeout. Bears trying to work somebody open right in front of Lamberson, and they couldn't get it done. So the Bears will take the timeout. They have no timeouts left. And Evergreen still with 2 timeouts here in the ball game. So the Bears are going to have to get the ball in one way or another here at this time, and Coach Fisher trying to get his guys into a situation where they maybe will get this in a little easier than the last time. Could not shake anybody loose, set a couple of picks at midcourt, but Evergreen fought through the picks and nobody came open, so the Bears having to call the timeout, and wisely so. 14 seconds left to go if you just tuned in. The Bears are up 1, 38-37, fourth quarter. Lamberson again, right in front of the scorer's table, will inbounds at the midcourt stripe. Valdez is in front of him, and he has Downing on him. And Smith then a little bit farther up that stripe. They're trying to work Smith open, and Valdez comes to the backcourt. He kicks the ball into the front court, but before he gets it off, there is a reach-in and a foul. And Jason Valdez will get an opportunity to go to the free throw line and try to salt this one away. 11.5 seconds to play in the ball game. Valdez with 10 on the night. He's got a couple of free throws already, and Coach Kiefer says, let's ice the young man right now. So the senior gets to go over and talk to his coach and kind of think things through, and we're going to keep it right here with 11.5 seconds left to go in this basketball game. You can see both the benches right now as they are talking to one another. We hope you're enjoying the stream tonight, the full video stream on bryansports.com. If you're out in your car and listening, it's Q96.5 FM, and if it happens to be Saturday night, that means that our buddy Chris Bryce has done his job on Friday. He's got the game going, and it's on Channel 3 on BMU cable here in Bryan. I would bet that Coach Fisher, at this point in time, is trying to set everything up after this free throw attempt. The Bears obviously would like to get a couple of them to go down, and they have their best free throw shooter at the line right now, and Jason Valdez. And then what happens after that? And that's exactly what Coach Fisher is telling his guys right now. For Coach Kiefer on the other end, he still has a timeout. So even if these two are made, he's got the opportunity to call a timeout if he wants to. And he'll have 11.5 seconds to play with to try to tie this game or win this game with a three-point shot. Valdez has been money all year long. Let's hope he can do the same right here with these two shots. Bears in the double bonus as Valdez dribbles and fires the first one through. 39-37. And Kiefer now, oh no, he's going to take his timeout. Yeah, he's going to take that final timeout. Maybe ice Valdez. This is a basketball team that likes to shoot the three. And with 11.5 seconds to go, even if Valdez makes this one, I think Coach Kiefer is thinking that he's got enough time to get back down the floor and get one of his sharpshooters off to maybe tie this game and send it into overtime. Or if Valdez misses this one, maybe even win this ball game on opening night here at the NWAL. The dilemma for me after calling that timeout is if you do watch that go through and then you can't get the ball in because of the pressure, you have no way of calling that timeout. But Coach Kiefer's been doing this a lot longer than I have, so we'll just defer to his judgment right now. 11.5 seconds. Jason Valdez at the free throw line to try his second shot, and that one is also perfect. And the Bears will put some full court pressure on it. Leffler brings it into the front court. Bears double team him. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Throw underneath, and it's picked off by Zane Cupp. And the Bears will win their opening night of the NWAL with a 40-37 victory over the Evergreen Vikings in a hard-fought battle here at Bryan High School. We'll step away on the Bryan Golden Bears Sports Network. When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up and head it to the house here. Well, the Golden Bears able to come out with a win tonight, 40-37 over the Evergreen Vikings in the opening round here of the NWAL. And for Coach Fisher and his basketball team, I think he's very happy with the way that turned out and the things that are going to happen for his team as they go forward here this year. For the Bears tonight, it was Peyton Lamberson with 17 points, Jason Valdez with 12, Zane Cupp had 7. But the biggest points maybe of the night came right there at the very end of the ball game as Jason Valdez was able to hit a couple of free throws to seal the deal after hitting 2 more before that. In fact, Valdez had gone from the first quarter without scoring a point. He's had 8 in the opening period, and then he scored those last 4 free throws in the last minute and a half of the ball game to salt this one away for the Golden Bears tonight. And the Bears here tonight will take the win. They'll go 1-0 now in the conference, and overall they're 8-4. And for Evergreen, they will drop to 0-1 in the conference, and on the season they are 5-6. For Coach Jerry Kiefer, I think it was a situation at the very end where he was sitting there trying to decide exactly what they were going to do, how they were going to work that thing out. Kind of strange in my book that he called his final timeout there before the Valdez free throw, because he would have had no timeouts if they couldn't inbounds that last pass. But they were able to move the ball up the floor, not able to get that three-point shot off, as the Bears did a great job of defending the three-point attempt, tried to feed the ball inside, and Zane Cupp was able to step in front of that lob pass down to the rim and end the ball game tonight for the Bears. So a good win for the Golden Bears. Obviously they will have a couple of nights off. In fact, all these teams will have some nights off. Next time they will play in the conference will be next Friday night, as the Bears will be home here. It's military night, and they will be hosting Swanton here at the Bryan High School Gymnasium. For Evergreen, they will be home next week on Friday night. They'll be hosting Liberty Center, and another NWAL games next Friday night. It will be Archbold at Wauseon and Delta at Patrick Henry. And that's going to do it for us here tonight on the broadcast. Good night. Hope you had a good time watching the ball game and listening to the ball game here tonight. Game was brought to you in part tonight by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, always backing our athletes. Good luck, Bears, all season long. Bryan Ford Lincoln, we're just down the road from high prices. The Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable and high-speed internet provider, and they are the provider of the Bryan Golden Bears Sports Network stream that we bring to you. And tonight it was a full video stream that you're able to watch on bryansports.com. Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, your auto owner's agent in Bryan, Northwest State Community College, helping you take that next step to a new job or a new career. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of service for all types of people. Darrow Shirkey Ford, the fastest growing dealership in Northwest Ohio. The Krill Funeral Home and Crematory. 4 generations have been serving this area from the Krill family, and they continue to serve you in your time of need. Newcomer, Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger, and obviously the scoreboard tonight brought to you as always by the main stops of Northwest Ohio. And don't forget, there are 2 main stops on both ends of town, on the east side and the west side of town. That's going to do it for us tonight. The Bears win a tough one to open up the league play tonight, 40-37. For my buddy Chris Malenga, who is probably out enjoying a nice evening with his family and friends here, and for my entire crew, I had Char Miller with me up here and also big Danny Humbarger here on our cameras tonight. Down in the truck this evening, Eric Herman was pushing all the buttons and making things go. And Chris Price, he was just sitting in the truck, probably providing humorous relief for everybody that was down there, and also all the graphics that were going on here this evening. So we thank our crew tonight. Without them, we couldn't make this happen. One final time, the Bears win tonight, 40-37 here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. We'll talk to you next Friday night. Have a great week, everybody.